Welcome to Glorious Botafogo, your number one source of Botafogo news in English. There's a lot of transfer rumors, a lot of transfer news. Some of them are not exactly truthful, some are. So let's get into it. The first bit of truthful news is that Abene is no longer coming to Botafogo. During the final stages of negotiation, Juventude changed some of the terms, and they were asking for some guarantees as far as like, but is Botafogo gonna pay on time? Is whatever. So the club didn't like any of that. So the deal fell through. Now the club is back on the market to look for a center back. And then, if you just kind of think a little bit and you're like, Botafogo's after Pantaleão, which is basically a done deal, a done signing. They were after Abne, which is a center back that could play as a left back, but mostly center back. We have Bastos, we have Barbosa, we have David Ricardo, we have Jair. Why would you want six center backs on your team? Well, that's because most likely Jair is going to get negotiated. The youngster, the 20-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old, came to Botafogo as a sub for Bastos. Bastos got hurt. It was a serious injury, and he's just now returning to practice with the ball. So Jair stepped up. He won the starting spot, and now he's being looked at. And Jair, along with Cuiabano and Igor Jesus, are on a package deal, if you want to call it this way, with Nottingham Forest. They're not being negotiated together, right? They're three separate negotiations, but the three separate negotiations happening with the same club. And the closest one to being done, and the closest one that I see it as a done deal is Igor Jesus. Botafogo and Forest have agreed on an initial fee of 20 million euros. Now, that fee can go up depending on Igor Jesus' performance in the World Cup of Clubs. It's coming up here in a couple of weeks. And Botafogo will have to play the European champions. And PSG won the Champions League earlier today versus Inter Milan by 5-0 in a match in which arguably the two best teams in the world played each other, and PSG won 5-0. So this is the kind of competition that we're going to be playing against. And Igor Jesus, if he does well, especially against the European champions, his fee can go up. And I assume maybe another team can come in and swoop in and give Botafogo a better deal. But as far as today, Botafogo and Forest have agreed on the sale of Igor Jesus for after the end of the World Cup of Clubs. So it could be very possible that Igor's last performance or last match with Botafogo was against Universidad de Chile, LAU, or maybe it will be against Botafogo and Ceará on Wednesday, June 4th. We will see, but tomorrow against Santos and Cuiabano both will not play due to muscular indisposition. They felt some muscular pains, and they will most likely not play against Santos. Now, another player that I feel like it's also a for sure departure is Gregory. Gregory, which was a player that was very, very, very important in the 2024 season. He was a pillar in the middle along with Marlon Freitas, and Gregory was responsible for allowing Marlon Freitas to be able to be so free with the ball. He is also most likely leaving, and he will be going to our former coach's team, Arthur Jorge's team that he manages there in Qatar, which is Al Rayyan. So Al Rayyan from Qatar is most likely the destination for Gregory. Botafogo put a release clause of, I think, $7 million for the 31-year-old. So if a team's going to pay that much to release the player, a 31-year-old guy, if they're going to pay for it, what else can you do? And if the player wants to go too, right? What else are you going to be able to do? You can't, you're not going to be able to keep a player like that. So, Igor Jesus, Gregory. Now, we're talking about Jair possibly leaving. And we're also talking about Cuiabano also leaving for the Premier League. Maybe Brighton. We're not sure yet. It could be also Forest is one of the teams. Like I said earlier, the video could take Cuiabano and Jair. Now, there's one more that I think could happen. It's not for sure yet, but it looks like Savarino is also another player that could leave Botafogo. And that's 5 players from the starting team. So if we are going to sell 5 players from the starting team, we better have 5 players of equal, at least, the very least, equal ability to come in and replace him. Now, you could arguably say that for Gregory, we might look at the bench and we have Alan. Okay, good, great. Alan's been playing great lately. But now who replaces Alan on the bench, right? Now we're talking about Cuiabano, that right now he's been playing as a left mid, left back. Botafogo signed 17 or 18-year-old Alvaro Montoro from Vélez, from Argentina, for $9 million. Montoro is seen as a up-and-coming gem, an up-and-coming diamond from Argentina. He's 18 years old. He was going to become a free agent at the end of the season. However, the new Almada, as he is called at Vélez, which is where Almada came from, liked Botafogo's career plan. He signed a 5-year deal with the possibility of transferring to Olympique Lyonnais. It's not according to the initial reports, it's not a for sure clause, right? He's not going to go for sure to Lyon, but most likely he's going to end up going there after a season or 2. And it could be a name for that particular side. Now, there's Igor Jesus, there's Jair, there's Bassos coming back, there's Pantaleon that's also coming. He could probably take that spot there. Now to replace Savarino and to replace Igor Jesus, those are big names in the Botafogo squad, and the players that will not be easily replaceable. Botafogo's gonna have to think outside the box here, and get players that are going to come and perform right away. We're looking at the second half. Botafogo qualified for the Libertadores round of 16. So we're going to need players. We're going to need players, especially because we're coming in for, we're about to play the World Cup of Clubs coming up. Where are the players? I know that Tairo Arruda and Alessandro Brito said that we're looking at signing players for for the rest of the season, not just for one competition. Okay, yes, I get it. But it needs to happen because, again, in 2 weeks, we're going to start playing the World Cup of Clubs. Are we there just to be one more team on the table, or are we there as the South American champions trying to make it out of the group stage against the champions of Europe, against Atletico Madrid, and against a host team, the Sounders? Seems like tough times are ahead, but if there's one thing that the scouting department has gotten right lately, it has been signings, right? It's what they're paid to do, is to find players. They've been doing well with that. So let's hope that they continue doing so, because there's also a player from the Sounders, actually, called Pedro de la Vega, that Botafogo has asked about. There is... actually, at the same time when Botafogo signed Montoro, his brother is going to go to Molenbeek. So it's kind of a 2-in-1 signing there for Eagle Football. And a Botafogo adjacent transfer news. Luis Henrique, former, not the one from last year, the one from a few years ago, former academy player Luis Henrique, was sold from Marseille to Inter Milan, and Botafogo is going to earn 2.8 million reais in that transfer, as the club from Brazil that had the rights of Luis Henrique. And then Marseille is going to win a couple, and then a couple of the other clubs that Luis was at, called the founder clubs, they're going to get some money too. It's pretty cool to see Luis Henrique going to a big European team. I know that Inter Milan just lost the Champions League. But it's good to see him going to a club of that stature in European football. So very good to see. Good luck to Luis. Whenever he was here, he always honored and played for the badge. So I wish him all the luck. Tomorrow, Sunday, Botafogo will play Santos for the Brasileirão. The match will happen at 2 p.m. U.S. Central Time, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, tomorrow, June 1st, at 2 p.m. U.S. Central Time. Chiquinho Suarez is going to be playing for Santos tomorrow, but Neymar may not be on the pitch. Neymar felt yet again another injury, but this time to his ankle, and he may not be deemed fit to play this upcoming match. So we'll see. I hope that everything is okay with Neymar. Brazil needs him for the World Cup coming up. But if he needs to not play tomorrow to preserve himself, please go ahead and sit on the bench and let Botafogo do the deed, which is winning 3 points and then going into the match against Ceará, hopefully getting another win and going with a little bit less weight on its shoulders for the World Cup of Clubs. If you've gotten here so far, please leave a like, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.